The papers trembled in my hands as I read line after line. Every signature on those pages was mine, but none of the decisions were. The mansion, the company, even my name on the trust. All signed away. I looked across the room at Daniel, my husband, who was smiling calmly, and then the lawyer cleared his throat and said, "Mrs. Morgan, I think you should know what your husband did." That was the moment my world cracked open. Before continuing, please subscribe to our channel and like our video. My name is Laura Morgan, and for most of my life, I believed I had it all. I grew up in a small town in Oregon, raised by parents who taught me that love and trust were the foundation of a good life. When I met Daniel, he seemed like everything my mother used to pray I'd find. Kind, respectful, ambitious. He was charming in a quiet, confident way. Daniel worked in real estate development. I ran a small interior design business. When we met, I was decorating one of his new properties. He watched me sketch one afternoon and said, "You have a gift. Laura, you turn walls into homes." Those words melted something inside me. Within a year, we were married. Daniel wanted a big ceremony, something elegant and timeless. I didn't care for the grandeur, but I said yes because it was his dream. That should have been my first clue. It was always about his dreams, not ours. After the wedding, Daniel suggested we buy a mansion just outside Seattle. It was beautiful, white columns, glass walls, gardens that caught the morning sun. He told me, "This will be our forever home." And I believed him. I poured my savings into the house and registered the deed under both our names. For the first few years, life felt perfect. We hosted dinners, traveled, dreamed about starting a family, but slowly, the warmth began to fade. Daniel became distant, not cruel, just detached. He said he was expanding his company, and I wanted to be supportive. But there was always something hidden. Documents I wasn't allowed to see, papers I was asked to sign for convenience, and I signed them because I trusted him. The real crack came one rainy afternoon. Daniel walked into my studio holding a folder. "Just routine. Paperwork," he said. "Some adjustments to the house. Trust for tax purposes." He smiled that calm. Practice smile. I skimmed the papers, the legal language thick and confusing. He placed a hand on my shoulder. "It's just technical stuff, Laura. I already had the lawyer approve it, and I signed." A week later, I overheard him on the phone. His tone was sharp, unfamiliar. "Yes," she signed. "Everything's under my name now. The timing is perfect." I froze in the hallway, my heart pounding. I wanted to believe I'd misunderstood. But deep down, I knew. That night, I couldn't sleep. The rain hit the windows, and all I could think was, what did I sign away? The next few weeks felt like walking through fog. Daniel was busier than ever, always traveling, always unavailable. Bills began arriving under his name alone. When I called the utility company, they said, "We can't discuss this account with you. Mrs. Morgan, you're not listed, in my own home." Then came the letter from the bank, mentioning a refinance I didn't approve. When I asked Daniel, he brushed it off. "It's just a business move. Laura, you wouldn't understand." I began keeping a folder, small pieces of paper, receipts, letters, anything that felt off. Late at night, I sat at the kitchen counter reading every line, tracing his lies through numbers and signatures. Then came the humiliation. Daniel started introducing me at events not as his wife, but as his partner in the Morgan estate. People smiled politely, whispered when I turned away. One evening, I overheard him tell a colleague, "Once the final transfer clears, it's all settled. She won't even know until it's over." That was when my fear turned into quiet determination. I called our family lawyer, Mr. Harris, an older man who had handled my parents' estate years ago. He spent hours reviewing every document I brought. Finally, he looked up and said softly, "Laura, your husband has transferred full ownership of your mansion, your business, and even your design brand, to himself," I whispered. "Everything I built?" He nodded. "On paper, yes. You've been signing your life away." Silence filled the room. Then he said, "We can undo this, but you'll need to stay calm and let me handle the next steps." That night, I stared at Daniel across the dinner table. He talked about his new project as if nothing had happened. For the first time, I didn't respond, I just listened. With Mr. Harris's help, I gathered everything: emails, contracts, every page Daniel had made me sign. We discovered he planned to sell the mansion to his company. Mr. Harris filed a freeze request before the transaction cleared. Legally, that stopped everything. But Daniel didn't know yet. Weeks passed. I played the part of the trusting wife. Smiled. Cooked dinner. Waited. Until the day of the meeting. Mr. Harris arranged it, saying we needed to finalize property updates. Daniel agreed instantly. He even kissed my cheek that morning and said, "This will be over soon, love. Then we can finally relax." I smiled back, because I knew he was right. It would be over soon. The meeting room was cold. Daniel walked in first, confident as ever. "This is just confirmation," he said, flipping through papers. My wife already agreed. Mr. Harris looked at him evenly. "Actually, Mr. Morgan, these documents show a pattern of fraudulent transfer. Mrs. Morgan's consent was obtained under misrepresentation." Daniel froze. "What are you talking about?" Mr. Harris continued calmly. "Every signature she made was based on false explanations. All invalid. Mrs. Morgan retains full legal ownership." Daniel's face shifted. Confusion, anger, disbelief. He turned to me. "Laura, what did you do?" I met his eyes and said quietly, "I just listened this time. It's been over a year since that day. The house is quiet now. But it's mine. I rebuilt my design business under my maiden name, Laura Hayes. I don't miss the mansion's halls or the parties. What I cherish now is peace, and the lesson I learned. Trust should be given carefully, even in love, because love built on lies will always collapse. Sometimes dignity means not shouting, not fighting, just standing still and letting truth do the work. If my story touched your heart, please like and subscribe for more calm, real-life stories about love, trust, and lessons learned the hard way.